So for Asia, as you can see from here, this is my 2009 annual report, and this is my latest annual report. So we have been on the digital transformation journey. So from being a pure analyze company, now we have become, we call ourselves a digital lifestyle. So we are more known as an analyze. We have running, we have so many things, so we have actually had to transform digitally. So that's how we have seen ourselves. Okay, so I will be touching very briefly on, before I get into digital disruption, just to set the tone right. What we are doing is, aviation is a very huge field, correct? Aviation includes the manufacturers of aircraft, the MROs, the component manufacturers, then you have the ground operations, even the petrol, the supply to our aircraft, then the airport, airlines, all these forms of the aviation industry. We have to all work together to do everything. But today I'll be more focusing on airlines first. So for airlines, we continue with the money to actually do that. We have the biggest data that nobody has, because the thing is, you can never travel in an aircraft for giving false information. Correct? So if you go to a supermarket and they just register you, I'm sure your words are written wrong, or your name is wrong, or your email is wrong, something is wrong somewhere, you just give it for the sake of giving, So when you are traveling, you can never give wrong information. You give your proper your proper, everything has to be perfect. So that's why we sit on a gold mine of data. So for us, we have to utilize this data and what's the best way, So that's why if you look at here, why digital disruption is so happening in the aviation industry is because with that data, we can do so many things. So I will look at the positive side first before I go on to the risk side. So on the positive note, you see the first thing we are talking about is operational efficiency. Because with data, I can do so many things, If every day I collect data of my aircraft, I come back and collect data, I come back and collect data. Now what happens is I take all the data and I do preventive maintenance. So what happens is every time aircraft before can go bad, I will really check this because I know this is going to come. So that's where we do a bit of predictive maintenance and preventive maintenance. And the second thing which we do is, which is coming up in a big way, though it's not commercialized yet, is AI co-piloting. MIT is doing a lot of research on this area, and they're doing a co-pilot where, there's a pilot and there's a co-pilot which is AI. So why do you need two pilots, basically? To make a human decision, you just need one person. The other decision the AI can make, of landing, taking off. Only when there's emergency, the human comes in. So that's what we are trying to do. And second thing, we are also looking at unmanned system. I'll just give you an example of what it looks like. You see the up one, the down, what you see here is called a tug. Okay? This is the one that pulls aircraft and leads it to the runway and then goes off. Once it goes off, the aircraft runs. Many incidents, if you actually go and Google it, you'll see, then you can see that the person, because the human there, the pilot can never see the person. So what happens is there's a long rod that connects the aircraft to the tug. And for God's sake, if the rod breaks or bends or whatever happens, the tug will just run over the place. So what they have done now is they have brought in the unmanned tug. So it's remote control. So I stand away from the aircraft, and then just operate it. So this is like, it's a innovation. Another thing I was telling you can see here, this is what MIT is trying to do. You see, one you have a pilot, the other is a AI. So here will control the flights for you in a normal circumstances. But still, when there is any emergency, you still need the pilot to take over. So this is what we are talking about. I'm going back to the front. Okay. So that's the area of operational efficiency. The next digital disruption is happening in the area of customer happiness. How many of you all here use AI to plan your trips? Everybody has is using AI to plan their trip. What we need to do is, I'm going to this place, say for example Bali. I'm going to Bali for 3 days. This is my emotionless traveling is let's talk for a human. What human wants as a person, I want to just walk in and at the gate, right? Here you have to go to security, you have to go to immigration, you need to go to so many stops. And like I was just talking to you now, you say every time you remove your picture, show them, you have to remove your passport, show them, it's a big hassle. So now we are trying to move towards this places. So in Malaysia, we have already put these places in place. And I saw that this time I just landed in Jakarta, also there will be places coming. So it's becoming friction, there's no human interaction, you just walk, put your passport and everything else to do that. So this is what we are looking at customer happiness. The next digital disruption that's happening is on the safety and security side. Again, places. The same example is used because what you're doing is when you recognize face, see when that person looks at your photo, there's how much of human errors can happen, right? Because you can do a change of face, you can do so many things. So the guy is basing it on, whenever when it comes to safety, they have in the 9 points on your face. And these 9 points cannot go wrong. You can do whatever surgery you want, these 9 points don't go wrong. So it's easy to detect. So by security-wise also it's much better now, the faces. And of course, when you're talking about safety, you're also talking about, we are doing something called, it's called digital twin. So what happens is, many airlines are doing it is, when the aircraft is running, there's a simulation running parallelly of the aircraft. So what happens is when the simulation goes wrong, something is going wrong in the aircraft. So it's called digital twin. So then again on our safety and security. And of course the biggest thing is sustainability. Sustainability is when you want to reduce your carbon emission, you want to reduce your net zero, you want to reduce your carbon greenhouse emissions and all that. So sustainability, and also you want to take on climate change, right? Like in Indonesia we have so many volcano eruptions, right? So when we are flying, imagine real time, a flight is on the air and then there's a volcano eruption. You need to have a real time control to take the correct? So there's two where we have climate impact management, we have fuel efficiency. So all of this comes into play. So I'll just go. So you can see here, this is our initiative of the fuel saving, where we use technology, and this is the Arisha faces. So we introduced now, government has taken over as saying it's my model. So it's to the advantage of the traveler. So, okay, now I'm going to go on the uglier side, which is the risk of digital disruption. So everything good has also a bad side, right? So this is where you have to, what this digital disruption brings along with it some risks, So the key risk, first we talk about where we have our cyber security and information. So what happens is for any flight, safety is paramount, right? Similarly for any data cyber security, right? It has to have cyber security. Without that, you're exposing your data, you're exposing everything to, the outside world. So this is something that I'll show you later how many cases are happening now. Because the more data you have, the more people want your data, right? So, and like I told you, we are sitting on a clean data. So people are so interested in the clean data that they will try all possible ways to attack you. So this is something that is becoming more and more because of cyber security, because of innovation. And then next we're talking about operational disruption. I'm sure most of us have experienced the blue screen of death. The whole world came to a standstill, right? Even our aviation, a lot of flights were grounded with the blue screen of death. That's when you realize the operation is so dependent on technology, right? So that's one thing. Other thing which is operationally coming up is work from home. People want to nowadays, everybody don't want to come back to the office. Everybody wants to work from home. So when you talk about work from home, have you realized how much of things go into protecting the data? But when I open up in the house, I can take out the data, especially banks. The data is so easy, and I'm sure during COVID time, you must be having a tough time, protecting your data. The once you work from home now, anywhere between the connectivity, I don't have connectivity at home, I go to Starbucks. What is security with Starbucks, every open time, data in Starbucks, So the system, or whatever your laptop is not secure, but the connectivity is not secure. So there could be so many points of failure. So that's another thing that's very, very crucial with digital disruption. The third point is about third-party engagement. Nowadays, you cannot do everything yourself. You need to outsource, So what happens is when you outsource, we always say your chain is as strong as your weakest link. And the third party is your weakest link. Always. Because they don't keep up with your place of development, right? And anything can go wrong. Many of the companies you see, when they have attacks, you will see it's from the third party. Just like a payroll, they outsource that payroll. And if they attack the payroll, it might even a little compromise, right? If I give vendor an access and their system is not secure, then anybody can come to vendor access into my system. So there's so many ways the third party, And the second thing is customer engagement. The customer engagement is actually customer disengagement. So what happens is the more I have, robots talking to me, I feel very disjoined, So I don't know what's happening. And moreover, what's happening is now people are getting more sensitive. So what we have to do as an airline, we have to know what the customers, how smart are they getting, because we are expect smarter than them. So that's why we are also facing a lot of challenges here, because every time we give it one solution, we say, can I have something more than that? It's always never satisfied kind of thing. So that's another customer engagement. Next is regulatory and compliance. Now it was very simple. A few years back, you had DCA, you had all the ICA, IATA, those kind of very few regulations that we need to follow. But now, with all the digital, we have to follow cybersecurity law, we have to follow data protection law, PDPA, Personal Data Protection Act, we have to follow, the thing only called e-commerce. Because currently now my customers can be booking from anywhere in the world. You know how the money laundering happens? They book a ticket with us and we ask you to refund to somebody. So what happens is money coming, money go out somewhere else. It's like very creative that we do nowadays when it comes to this thing. So now we have so many new regulations that we need to follow, nothing like 3 or 4. So that's another biggest risk that you're having. Next, of course, it's risky and security. This is a very live example I can tell you. Not only with airlines or airlines, what is happening is with e-commerce. What happens is more and more e-commerce is coming into the airline space. So we can use e-commerce the biggest business now. Only things like Shopee, Lazada, you have Temu, and I don't know how you have others. So all of them parcels, millions and millions of parcels are being sent across the world. So all of these can come from China, can come from Indonesia, can come from Thailand, can come from anywhere. And Canada. And it could be people like you and me saying, how much of knowledge do you have when it comes to making this thing? When I said you install, I put 4 batteries inside a solution. Do you realize that there are 4 batteries in the dangerous goods? But you don't know because you just think it's a fraud. So when you have discontinued, you say, a battery or a fraud. No. So what happens is we carry it in our attract. So this e-commerce has led to a very big risk for the airlines. To the extent that there are many airlines who don't take e-commerce. They don't mind missing out on the business. But they don't want to take because it's high risk, Of course, not that they're going to send bombs or anything, but still, it just takes one case. Right? So that's why. So that's one of the biggest safety and security challenge that we are facing because of the e-commerce in the industry. The next digital disruption is AI adoption. Okay, how many of you heard about DeepSeek? Right? See what happened when DeepSeek came in. We just made an announcement that we have got one system. We does not require high processor. So the share of all the chip manufacturers in US. In Malaysia, even the data center, the construction companies, the data center people, all these shares. So it does not matter which industry you are in, Somebody makes an announcement somewhere and your industry is affected. So that's what is happening with AI. And then after 1 week or 2 weeks, I just read an article that DeepSeek was also compromised. That means somebody attacked DeepSeek also. You see how fast things are moving, So this is all the key risks associated with digital disruption. Okay, so I'll just give you a flavor of what are the kinds of digital disruption that's happening around the world. This is specific to airlines. You see, we have something called personal data breach. We have cases of third-party exploits. We have the availability disruption. You can see way or the other. AirAsia is also no exception. Okay? We also had a ransomware attack. So everybody gets into one or the other problem, you know. So this is the life that you have to deal with when you become digitally savvy. Okay, so how does AirAsia manage all this? Okay, so that's a solution for you. AirAsia principle is very simple. Keep it simple. So the more simple it is, the more easier to manage. Right? So that's our motto for us. So what we do here is we just follow these five steps. Okay. Stay updated. Stay ahead. Stay vigilant. Stay agile and stay connected. These are the few things that you have to follow. So stay updated, because if you're not updated, then somebody else is taking over your job, your business. Like for example, Samsung, you see, they were trying to introduce AI, but they never taught their employees. At the end of the day, what happened? The employee go and put in ChatGPT the entire business plan. You get a beautiful PowerPoint presentation and end up with compromise, right? The entire data. So that's why you have to always stay updated of what's happening. Stay ahead. Stay ahead is a very catch-22 kind of situation, okay? If you're first, it could be easy. If you're second, it could be easy. So, you know, it's like, and even by being first, it could be easy because you're in the long run technology. So, it is like, you know, you call it the sweet spot. So, you should have a big appetite. That's why when we do our risk appetite, we have a very high appetite for technology. Because technology is something that we have to spend on. And it is a hit on this, right? Technology, I cannot say that if I invest so much in this, it will give me returns, no. But if I don't invest, there's a chance I might miss out on the business. So that's why this staying ahead is a very, very sweet spot for us. So that will determine if you have a very high appetite for technology, then you just stay ahead. If you have a very small appetite for technology, then you'll be a me too. Maybe everybody knows, okay, everybody here, okay, kind of thing, okay, then I go and start doing, you know. So it's up to you. It's not a right or wrong way. Maybe first or second is not right or wrong, but it's up to your own appetite for your own company. Next is always stay vigilant. Compliance, consistency is no good, you know. Because once you become complacent, that's it. So for us, when the blue screen of that happened, we were lucky that we had our BCP plan at least for a week. So once we have the BCP plan in place, we just switch over and do manual. So if you're not vigilant, you will never know when your problem is going to strike. And then, you know, you're like scraping when you are at the point of, you know, getting it done. You stay agile. I like the word agile because, you know, it's like the mantra, you know. Everybody talks about agility, but I seriously believe that is the key. And for AirAsia to be agile, we use the Lego policy. So what we do over in AirAsia is we don't put everything in one big system. Each system is broken down into 2 or 4 pieces. So if this gets updated, we just start with this. This gets updated 5 years ago, you know. So what happens is when you have a Lego model, we can you know, change the environment very easily. So that's what stay agile. You can stay connected. This is very, very important. Like I told you, when I give a big picture of innovation has got so many layers, right? So if I become very tech savvy and I become very if somebody cannot keep up with us, I know for example, I give you a very low example, but think of it like we are giving you digital now, you can go to online. Mine is the best of the platform, and I know how to interact with the group. No problem, no platform to go. But then the bank is solving. Please come to the bank and pay money. You can have to adopt that technology, counting, right? Because for me, it's a habit. I still need to the bank to withdraw money and pay. So it has to work in unison. That means the whole ecosystem has to work in unison. That's when it works properly. Like I'll give you an example. We have gone on digital boarding passes, right? All of you know that we digital boarding passes, right? Which is if you just put on your phone and scan and go back. There's this immigration like in Cambodia and all that, they don't accept digital. They still need manual. So how do I progress, right? If you progress with technology, you can go very high, but then this is the immigration because the whole ecosystem is not growing and little bit of marketing. Okay. Okay, so this is our Alisha digital runway. You can see back how early did we start our digital transformation. Back in 2002, we have already started our digital transformation. That was our stepping stone, when we introduced online booking. That was the first level. You can see we were first in the world to offer mobile and SMS booking. And coming further down, we were marked as the most innovative company for the ASEAN brand. We introduced in 2018 spaces. And now, in 2025, is when government is putting it at high orders innovation. And then we have so many things, baggage drop-off, automatic check-in, printing your own boarding pass, putting your own baggage tag, everything. So this is our digital journey. But in the whole process, our key focus is always to keep it simple, make our customer happy. So that's why you have to differentiate between innovation and invention. Okay? So invention is anything new. Okay? I can suddenly say, I clap here, the light goes on, clap here, the light goes off. This is innovation. But you might need it, I can just go and press the button, right? So invention